My last interview with Jay Villella ended with the local association threatening him with a violation based on his honest answer to one simple question. So here we are for round two to learn what made them mad and why Jay decided to leave the association. Welcome to the Real Estate Replay, highlights and consumer stories in real estate that the industry doesn't want you to hear. Hosts Wendy Gilch and Lindy Chapman are breaking down the good, the bad, the unethical, and sometimes illegal stories of recent home sellers and buyers. Learn what they did right, what they did wrong, and what they wish they would have done differently. It's the only real estate podcast that tells you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth about the industry. Okay, so Lindy and I have been doing replay stories of consumers in real estate. And I have been wanting to speak to you for a couple months now because you and I talked in December and we did an interview because you're one of my favorite city agents. You're honest, you have values, integrity, you care about consumers. I asked you one specific question that apparently didn't go over well. And that was, what percentage of agents do a really, really amazing job in regards to things by the book, everything being what they should be, right? Ethical and just making sure everything's by the book and that everything's done right, right?
Right. Uh-huh.
And so your answer was like, what, 20%, right?
That's what I said. Yes.
Right. Your opinion. Correct. And then you backed it up with a ton of statistical facts from the MLS. I don't know if you still have those, but I know one was like 26% of agents out there total were still 2 years or less with experience.
Right.
And I know in the city, specifically where we live, you had mentioned, like, I forget what the percentage was of agents that have not sold a thing. And we did this in what, December?
Right. Yeah, that was last year. And I also referenced the National Association of Realtors' own demographic data that they publish every year.
Right. And so I think I don't want to speak exact numbers. I should probably go back and look for it. But there was a big percentage of agents that haven't sold anything this year. Right. And then there was another big percentage of agents that sold 3 or less homes this year.
Right.
And so your answer was strictly opinion based on the lack of experience, because in real estate, I would assume the more experience you have doing transactions, the better you are at understanding what you're doing, right?
Both number of transactions and time that you have a license. Sure. Yeah.
Okay. And so we put that out at December, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't have a mass following. I still don't, but it was like worse in December, right? Mm-hmm. So within a week, what happened?
Within a week, I was contacted through back channels by one of the local arms of the National Association of Realtors. And to cut a very long story short, basically they said somebody was really unhappy with what I said and wanted to file an ethics complaint against me. And they are demanding that I have the video where we spoke deleted, or that I issue an apology for what I said.
Right.
And I don't want to go into too many details about it, but I do believe, and this is my opinion, that it was an effort to silence me, because the industry doesn't want to acknowledge that it has a problem in terms of quality control over the people who are helping consumers buy and sell real estate. It doesn't want to admit that it has a problem. And it would rather silence critics than do anything at all to improve their situation. So,
right.
Rather than be silenced, the reason I'm speaking right now is because I just left the National Association of Realtors.
Right.
So now I can speak freely.
I remember you sent me that email, and I'm like, wow, nothing he said was like, it was all factual, right? And it's true. Like, there is a total concerted effort with big brokerages for body counts, right? Like, the more agents you have, the better grasp and control you have over your market, right? And one of them is even like I don't want to call them an MLM structure, but there's one brokerage in specific that very much seems like the shape of a triangle, like a 3-dimensional triangle. which is weird when you're thinking about like the biggest purchase of your life. One of the structures to it
Yes.
is based on how many people you have underneath you
Hmm.
and what they're selling.
Well, the National Association of Realtors is aware of these problems. I mean, they've issued multiple reports where they acknowledge that the quality control problem is possibly the number one issue facing them. What I mean by quality control is the brokerage companies endlessly recruit people in, but they don't necessarily train them properly, in my opinion. And they don't have any hope of any of these people having enough professional experience to develop the kind of skills that they need to be representing people in the purchase or sale of real estate. And consumers, I don't know if they're, I think consumers don't know why they're unhappy with real estate professionals, but this is why,
Right.
in
Right.
my opinion.
Well, it's such a mystery too, right? Like you have no idea what kind of agent you're getting until you're
Right.
like in the thick of it. And I spend way more time than I should in subreddits. And it's constantly like, should I switch my agent? My agent's not doing XYZ. Is that normal? Right? Like, or
Yeah.
should I, what do I do? I signed, what was my favorite? I signed, or my parents signed a listing agreement for 1 year with a real estate agent. I'm like, oh my God, a whole year, like a whole, if you can't sell your house in a whole year, unless it's like some crazy intense property, like how are you stuck with that person for a whole year? Right. But you don't know. Right. I don't know. I
Right.
just was fascinating to me. And we've talked about this before. Like
Mhm.
there's everybody knows the issues and nobody seems to want to address them. And so then
Right.
nothing gets fixed. Right.
Because the incentive structure within the industry, so the big players in the industry are the large brokerage corporations. They're really the ones who I would say, and these are political opinions of mine, and that they're only my opinions. I'm only
Right.
speaking for myself. Um, my political opinion is that the large brokerages lobby the state governments and the federal governments through NAR. Like they basically own and control the National Association of Realtors. And none of this is a conspiracy theory or anything wacko. I'm just saying, like, they're the ones with the money. They pay the bills, the large companies.
Right.
So they get legislation that favors their business structures and basically squashes competition from newer or smaller companies, in my opinion.
Right.
Um, and they don't care if the public is mad because they don't have any competitors. They
Right.
don't have any competitors.
Right.
Nobody who has like a different structure can get off of the ground. So, like, I don't care if it's whatever brand broker you go with. If they operate the same way, you're getting the same product. You're getting the same service
Right.
essentially.
Right.
Uh,
My favorite is the people that are like iBuyers, they're going to get rid of agents. And I'm like, you do know that iBuyers sell leads to agents, right? Like everybody is intermingled together. It's not like iBuyers are burning down the agent bridge.
nope.
Like they're still in the mix, right? Like it's still a part of it.
Well, so having a bunch of people who come into the industry every year who have dollar signs in their eyes. Basically,
Mhm.
they watch Selling Sunset on Netflix,
Right, right. I
and they're
have
like,
yet to watch one episode of that just because I can't. But anyways,
"Don't do it."
it's not important, but go ahead.
uh, anyway, so these people come in the industry with false promises of large paychecks and whatever. And the industry, what I mean by industry is the large companies, they benefit from having more people coming in because the people pay fees to exist. And,
Right,
it's not quite as bad as an MLM, I would say, but it's in the same, on the same spectrum. And they benefit, like, the companies don't care if that person is successful. And I would argue, and this is an opinion, they don't care if the person does a good job because to them it's a numbers game.
mhm,
If they recruit 1,000 people and 40 of them get one sale a year, they win because they get the most profitable and largest commission splits off of those new people, and they get fees from everybody else all year long.
right,
And if the person, ends up spending a couple $1,000 never getting a sale and then disappearing, they don't care.
right, right,
Now, they do care about getting sued. They care about that a lot,
right.
I would say. So they are careful. They try to be careful to make sure that people don't do flagrantly abusive and illegal things.
Right.
But in terms of garden variety incompetence, and that's what we were talking about in that last podcast, they don't care. That's what I think. I think that they don't care.
Right.
So,
But and it's funny because I talked to you, I talked to Lindy. Like there is a big group of agents that feel this exact same way, but like no one says anything because of, I mean, what happened to you was a great example. It was like, take back your statement or you're in trouble. And you didn't.
right.
And I know, I think we told him we'd delete it and I never deleted it. I think it's still out there. I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh, it's
Um,
fine now.
yeah.
So we have something in the Realtor Code of Ethics. It's Article 15, which basically says not to say mean things about other realtors. I am not a realtor. I can say whatever I want as long
Right.
as it's not
Right.
false or defamatory. And I don't mean to defame anyone or say anything false about people. I'm just saying my opinion based on my experience with other real estate professionals.
Right. Right.
Um, and that experience is that maybe 20% of my fellow real estate professionals are highly competent people.
Right.
People that I have confidence are able to read and understand the full contract, able to add fractions, multiply percentages, and calculate triple digit numbers at least.
Right.
And I mean, it's like kind of a joke, but you'd be surprised.
Right. Yeah, I know. You told me like figuring out the dimensions of a room and how some people couldn't do that.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
but okay, so that people understand, you can be a real estate agent and not a realtor, right? I
that's
think
right.
they get that confused because you are still a real estate agent and a really good
Right.
one in Pittsburgh. So
Oh,
people should
thanks.
find you. You're doing listings right now, right? You're focusing on listings, right?
Yeah, so we could talk about the market later if you want, but right now I'm focused on listings, but I have worked with a ton of buyers over time.
Right, right. Okay, so explain what's the difference between a realtor. I always want to put an O in there. It just flows better with an O in between the L and the T, but that's not right.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the difference between, you know, J in December and J now?
Okay. The National Association of Realtors is a private trade organization that has the word realtor is a trademark, and it's a specific subset of real estate professionals.
Mhm.
Who subscribe to a code of ethics and a governing body and various ways of doing business. It's a professional association. For instance, there's the American Medical Association. I don't know if they have a specific term for people who are members of the American Medical Association, but it's like that.
Okay.
I don't know if this is true. I have to double check, but I've read that most doctors are not members of the American Medical Association. However, the overwhelming majority of residential real estate professionals or agents are realtors. And I think that there are various unfair and ridiculous reasons for that. And I think
Right.
that the Department of Justice is currently prosecuting that.
Right.
By the way, I submitted a comment to them and they replied to me. So
Oh,
I've
did
been,
they?
yeah, we've been in discussions,
What is
brief
what is
discussions.
what is your secret? Because I have sent them multiple things and no one ever gets back to me. Maybe I'm phrasing it wrong.
Well, I sent them a pretty detailed email that I worked on for a week
Right. Oh,
with a
wow.
bunch of
Okay.
research. And they only got back to me recently. I sent it to them probably 6 months ago. So
Right.
I'm sure
I'm
they're
thinking,
backlogged.
I was gonna say, right.
There are a
Okay.
lot of other bad things happening besides real estate
Right.
agents.
Well, there's a lot of conversations about that too. And
Yeah.
you talked to Michael Toth too, right? From
I
Rex, didn't
I
you?
did speak with him. He's very
Okay.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah. He's where I like to get some information from every now and then.
Yeah.
I need to follow up with him now that I think about it. Okay. Sanity in the Pittsburgh market in 2 minutes or less. How bad is it?
I think that what's happening here is similar across the entire world. I think whatever's happening is a global phenomenon. I don't know if you saw the other day, but some think tank put out a report saying that Pittsburgh is the most affordable housing market in the world,
No,
which
there's
makes
no
me
way.
laugh.
Did
Yeah,
you
I'll
see?
email it to you.
Yeah, please do because
Yeah.
I'm on this warpath of I haven't looked at the builders in Pittsburgh. I'm going to. So like fair warning to you builders out there. I've been looking at builders in the Sun Belt and how they're selling homes. One builder in this like little town of Tennessee sold 30% of the homes they built to two investment groups.
Oh,
And
wow.
so we talk about like inventory and we need more homes, but then you're just offloading more homes into rentals and like it, I'm curious if you know anything about real estate investors in Pittsburgh. And if it's like Atlanta, it's 1 in 4 homes sold to an investor last year. Charlotte was 1 in 4. Phoenix was like 1 in 4. Cleveland, it was 16%. So like what, 1 in 6 maybe homes sold to an investor. So I would think that we mirror, I can't say that word either, mirror Cleveland, right? And in
Yeah.
a similarity, right?
I would guess. I don't have that data in front of me. Just from my on the ground experience, I don't think that we have investment from the huge capital firms here in
Right.
Pittsburgh as
It's the
much as
small
just,
ones.
yeah, just smaller companies and individuals who want to own rentals and stuff.
Right.
Um,
Which makes it so much harder for me
yeah.
to find in the deeds. Like at least with Tricon and First Key, like they use the same 20 LLCs, but
Yeah.
none. They're not here in Pittsburgh, at least not yet. Who knows? I'm sure they'll make their way here at some point.
I don't think so. I mean, yeah, just to talk about the market in general, obviously the same things that are happening everywhere are happening here too, but I would argue on a lesser scale. We just don't have the type of stuff like I have a friend who lives in Los Angeles, and she was telling me about these little tiny houses in Pasadena that are selling for like literally $1 million over the list price of
Wow.
multiple millions of dollars. Like we don't have anything like that here, so it's not as bad, but it's still the velocity of sales is just so high. I mean, things come up on the market and they sell within days, which
Right.
that did not used to be. That was not the norm
Right. Right.
for a long time.
Right. That's what Lindy was saying. Like now agents feel like they fail if they don't have like massive multiple offers within like a couple days. And
Hmm.
it's funny because like pre-pandemic and even who uses selling later now has changed a little bit because it used to be like a variety of people. And some of it was like, I just want to make sure my house sells like in a decent amount of time. And now it's like I don't know if I need to use an agent. Our homes are selling so quickly. Like let me test and see if I can do it myself, which like to each their own. Like I will never tell someone how they should or shouldn't do something. But
Mhm.
it's fascinating that mentality of like how quickly things go in like the perception of consumers of like, is it that hard? And I think there was someone that posted on selling later specifically because they met with a real estate agent
Uh-huh.
and she said, we'll list your home on Thursday and we'll collect offers on through Sunday and then we'll decide what to do.
Okay.
That was her marketing plan. That was it. Like we'll post your home on the MLS.
Yeah.
We'll go through, I don't remember if she's gonna have an open house, but open houses are just as much to find clients as they are to sell your home.
Could be.
And so they left the meeting with her and they're like, why? I think she wanted to charge them like 5.5 or 5.75%. They're like, why? She's not like what she's not even like she's just listing the house. Like that's all she said she was doing is list the house
Right.
and we'll review offers on Sunday. And it's like, well, isn't there like a little more to it? Like at least, and maybe that's on her. She didn't explain her services correctly.
Right.
But when things sell this quickly, I think consumers, we go back to commissions and asking, why are they the way they are?
Yeah, and those are completely reasonable questions. Let me tell you a story. So this story comes from 2014, which was a completely different time.
Right, right.
I would argue that the bottom of the market was around 2012, maybe 2011. And
Okay.
what I'm talking about is like in the wake of the great financial crisis, and like the bottom of the values, the slowest moving market was around 2012. I came into the business just after that, and so things were starting to look up when I was in. And what I mean by look up is like days on market was coming under 180 for
Wow.
like 6 months or whatever.
Right, right.
Anyways, so one of my early listings, and this is how I like to explain what commissions are and how they work. One of my early listings, a seller wanted a lot for her house and maybe more than the market value at the time.
Right.
And so I put it up. I paid for professional pictures and professional video, which at the time was way more expensive than it is now. Um, and I had open house after open house after open house. I had broker open houses, which this is something we used to do all the time, where you would have an open house on like a Tuesday morning and bring all the agents and brokers in so that you could like kind of try to sell them on it so that they would be incentivized or they would be more motivated to show the house to their agents.
Right.
So like this is a very different market
Right.
from what
Right.
we currently have. And I worked through all the seasons through spring, and it didn't sell summer, and it didn't sell fall, and it didn't sell winter, and it didn't sell. Then we signed a new listing agreement, and I did it again for another year. I
Oh,
worked for
wow.
2 years consecutively.
Wow.
And at the end of it, she said, you know what? Never mind. I don't need to sell
Mm-mm.
this house. Forget it.
Oh,
And she never did sell it. It's 2022. It didn't
she's
sell.
still there. Maybe it's the one by me. There's one by me that's been for sale for like over a year and a half.
Right.
At least it's with the same group too. I'm
Now,
assuming he has a price and he's not willing to budge on his price.
what
Uh,
your listeners might think, wow, Jay, you're dumb. Why did you work for 2 years for free? Well, because, I had a contract with her that said if I sold it, I would get, 6% or whatever.
right,
Right.
right,
So that motivated me to continue to work, and it didn't cost her anything.
right,
That's a very extreme situation. And I think that's unhealthy on the agent and broker side of the equation. But today we have the very opposite extreme where I put up a listing and within 24 hours it's sold.
right,
I
right.
didn't
Well,
do
even
any
you
open
put up
houses.
one. You put up one today, right? I'm sure your phone. Some agent's probably mad at me because I'm taking up your time because you're not answering your phone right this second.
I bit the bullet and I bought all Apple stuff, and I have my text messages on my iMac right now that I'm looking at, and I've
Oh,
gotten
yeah.
14 text messages just in the time that we have been talking.
Oh my God.
And it's
Oh,
all gonna be buyers like, can I get in this house?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So this is the opposite extreme where I would argue it's kind of unfair to sellers to charge them all that money.
Right, right,
And the other problem that you've discussed on your platform before is who cares? Like, it's not, who cares about the brokerages? It's not fair to individual consumers at the time. You know what I mean?
right,
Like, I could make the argument that, oh, well, now all these easy sales are compensating me for the years of struggle when the market was down. But that's not fair to people buying and selling now.
right,
They
right.
don't care what I was doing in 2014.
Right, right. We talk, yeah, we
Yeah.
talk about it all the time. Like,
Hmm.
buyer's agents. I mean, and granted, it's awful. I would assume it's pretty awful to be a buyer's agent right now.
Yeah.
But it's like you get the same percent commission if you only have to show them 2 houses or if you show them 20, then it's the
Hmm.
same thing, right? Like, well, the two makes up for the 20, but it's like, well, if I was the two house and done,
Right.
like I would feel like, hey, you didn't have to do as much work. Like, and you're one of the few agents that was doing rebates.
Hmm.
Um, and I thought that was so fair because it was the more work you do, the more of the commission you keep, the less you do, which makes sense. Of course, right
Yeah.
now in this market, it's probably really hard to figure that out. But
And to wind this back to our conversation about competence among real estate professionals, consumers are also paying the same for people that have 35 years of experience, multiple degrees, and like tons of transaction experience as they are to someone who literally just like rolled out of bed, got their license yesterday.
right, right. Oh my
Yeah.
God. And those are the ones that are all over social media. Like, I don't discount my commissions. I have only had a year, but I know exactly what I'm doing. You can't tell me. And I'm like, oh God.
Are you familiar with the Dunning-Kruger effect? You
Mm,
ever heard of this?
mm-mm.
It's named for two social psychologists who discovered this. Basically, the less competent you are at something, the more confidence you have. And then
Oh,
as your competence increases, your confidence decreases. And then it starts to go back up again when you become a true expert.
right, right.
So sometimes beginners at things or people who have no idea what they're talking about are highly confident.
Right, right. And,
And you have,
I'll be honest, that was probably me when I first started selling later, like before I went to Inman and knew like how much of a hot mess this industry is. Like that was probably me. Like, I mean,
Oh, it's just a facet of human psychology. No one is immune. I'm just saying that the Dunning-Kruger effect plus
Right.
low quality control equals dangerous things happening in the real estate industry on a
Right.
daily
Right.
basis.
Right. Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. What's funny too is talking about social media, like the stuff that Lindy and I find, I know you hang around on some of these forums too. Um, the amount of stuff that is not legal or unethical that is discussed. Like the one day
Oh yeah.
someone said, I'm going to sell my home. My agent's telling me 2.5% is not enough to a buyer's agent. No one will come look at it. I need to offer 3%. And everyone in the feed was like, I'm pretty sure 2.5 is pretty normal. And they said it was in California. And they're like, no, I'm in California. It's like 2.5. And then one person said, I have had multiple buyer agents tell me that they're keeping tabs of which listing agents are getting into these contracts and offering such low amounts to the buyer agents, and that they're going to return the favor when the market flips. And I'm thinking, that sounds like that doesn't sound legal or
Yeah,
fair.
that's
Like,
illegal boycott. That's a Sherman Act
yeah,
violation.
yeah. I'm like, I don't think this sounds correct. I'm sure maybe you can join my conversations with Lindy sometime when you don't have 14 people text messaging you right now.
Oh
Uh,
no.
Share your opinion on this. So, all right. Well, so to recap, you spoke your opinion and you were told to take it back and you didn't. And now you're in a better place still as a real estate agent with integrity and honesty and uh, truthfulness, right?
I can
Freely
do
speaking your opinion, right?
I'm doing everything that I was doing before. It's
Right.
just, I'm not, if we want to have a discussion like this, it's totally fine. And I just want to, go on the record as saying there are competent realtors. I'm
Absolutely.
not suggesting that they all are incompetent or anything. I never even said that in the first place.
Right.
I'm
Right.
just, I'm just saying it's an open secret, and to pretend that it's not a problem is totally disingenuous. So.
Right. Right. What do they call it? Like the ostrich effect, where you just like stick your head in the sand and like, if I don't see it, then it's not a problem.
Right.
Uh,
Oh, huge problem in real estate. Yep.
right. Well, thank you for sharing this.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever happened to the realtor of the year who got in trouble for HUD violations, by the way? Is he still around?
I don't know, but I can tell you that another one. So I think there were four people indicted by a federal grand jury. That's a
Right.
fact.
Right.
Everyone can look it up.
Yeah, I Googled it.
One
It does exist.
one of the people who was indicted has a full time, or I don't know if they're full time, but they have a person who is basically out there recruiting agents to join their team.
Oh my God.
And I got a recruitment call from this
No.
person, and
No.
I asked them, I was like, "Is your boss like in prison right now, or is he at home waiting for the trial, or how's it going?" And he had no idea what I was talking about, and I was like,
Yeah,
"You should
what?
you should Google his name and like look up what's going on."
Yeah. You know
I
what's
just
funny? After you told me about this, I went on like the 2021 Realtor of the Year and the name was erased. And I'm like, okay, like shouldn't
progress.
shouldn't you be more concerned about like that person than something you're saying, right? Like shouldn't
Oh.
that be a thing?
I
Um,
have no idea what's going on behind the scenes there. I have no idea. All I know is I just didn't want to be a part of it anymore.
right, right. And you're almost better off this way too, because now you're able to, you know, uh, I won't, never mind. I'm going to cut that part out because
Okay.
I don't want you to get in trouble again or
No,
get
no,
an email in a week for you telling me I have to take this down. Not that we did. I mean, nothing, if people want to find the original conversation, I'm sure it's out there somewhere.
Yeah.
So thank you for this.
Yeah.
And I'll let you go deal with how many messages do you have now?
It's still 14.
14.
So
Okay, good. Take a break.
no,
Go get
no
something.
worries. I'll get back to everyone.
Want to share your experience with us? Drop by therealestatereplay.com and submit your story or even ask us a question.